What's up, guys, and welcome to my vlog.
Welcome to my vlog. Welcome to my vlog. Welcome to my vlog. It's PJ's vlog. Yeah.
So, guys, my life's been a little bit busy these last few weeks. I had some family things and some personal things that I had to focus on. So, I got my priorities set, and I just wasn't able to focus on this vlog. So I am a little bit late with this video. I said I was going to give an update about a month into the developer apprentice job that I have. And now I'm 10 weeks in, so, it is what it is. But here's my update with that so far. Get ready! So, like I said, I'm 10 weeks into the program that is halfway into this 14-week program. And I just want to give an update on how it's going so far, how my expectations are kind of lining up with what's actually happening. And, just kind of what I've been learning, and yeah, so here we go. So in my last video, I talked about my hopes of working on different projects, and through working with different projects, using different technologies, learning technologies that I have not used before, and working with different developers in the team, and just kind of seeing how they work, how they solve problems, and how they just, how they develop in general. So I can say that I have been working on multiple different projects now. It's been cool. Because I get to work with different clients, and I get to see how different clients give feedback differently, how some clients are more technical than others, and that affects the way that they give us feedback, and it also affects the way that they communicate what they're looking to be done. Yeah, it's just always fun to work with different kinds of people, and yeah, I guess that's it. With that being said, one of the hopes with working on different projects, like I said, was to use different technologies. The projects that I have been working on, though, are all Rails projects. That's because we have a lot of Rails projects that we support, and I'm, I guess, one of the people in the company who can work on Rails projects and knows Rails pretty well enough to work on like production code. So that's been nice. But at the same time, that kind of keeps me from being assigned to projects that don't have Rails, that doesn't use Rails, which is, it is what it is. But Rails is a big framework, and there's always a lot to learn. So I'm still learning a ton. I'm learning better ways to just write Rails code in general. I don't know, what I'm saying? Like, I'm just learning Rails better, which is cool. And like, these things, they're not so Rails specific that they're not translatable to other web frameworks or whatever. At least I'm assuming. So that's been nice. I'm also learning kind of more general things like how to organize my code better, especially like for MVC architecture kind of stuff. So a model view controller architecture, which is what that's included, or that's what's used in like Elixir and Phoenix framework. So I'm getting like a better understanding of what code and like what components or whatever are responsible for what things. In terms of like the MVC stuff, and also what they shouldn't be responsible for. So that's been really good to learn that. That's something that's definitely translatable to other things. So I'm definitely learning still. I'm just not learning the technologies that I was hoping to learn, at least not yet. But with that being said, I'm actually going to start tonight relearning Elixir on my own, just like through a Udemy course that I bought a while ago. Yeah, so that's that. Moving on. I've also been learning a lot of just kind of like the business side of web development. I've been sitting in on a couple like client meetings with prospective clients. That's been good to kind of see how our president kind of markets the company, how he kind of communicates and talks to the clients, and just kind of how that conversation goes with like what the client needs and how we can kind of get them to where they want to be in terms of their software. But that's been interesting to see that. It's also been kind of interesting to see how sometimes the client seems so excited to work with us, but then eventually they get the proposal and it doesn't work out. So that's what it is. It's part of the business, but it has been good to kind of see the non-technical side of the business of development, I guess. I've also been sitting in on developer estimate meetings where basically once we get the client requirements and the software, we break it down into, they're called like stories and epics. They're kind of like just itemized list of things that need to be done. So like user can sign in so that he has access to his account or something like that. right? And then you look at all these different things and you kind of estimate how long each of them is going to take, either by hours or by points. And then the points is kind of like a scale. It represents like a certain amount of hours. And that's been cool for me to see because I'm terrible at estimating things and I'm also a noob. So it took me a lot longer to do something than a more experienced developer. So as a result, I tend to just sit back in these meetings and kind of just absorb what I can and kind of just see and learn from how the other developers estimate things. And I mean, I still estimate them in my head, but I just compare them. I just compare the estimates to what I'm saying in my head about like how long I think it would take, me at least. And pretty much every time, my estimate is a lot longer than what the experienced developer estimates. And if my estimation is smaller or quicker or whatever, that's usually because I'm not fully understanding the scope of what is required, or I'm like not considering certain things. So I'm basically not accounting for everything that needs to be done. It has been really useful for me to sit in on those, and it's been just a really good learning experience in general. There have been times where I have communicated with our clients, like the existing clients that we're already working with, during our stand-ups, where I tell them, okay, I'm working on this feature next, right now, whatever, and I think I'll be done by tomorrow or by end of the day today. And I say that, and then something comes up in the code, and I run into issues, and it takes longer, like, I don't know, 3 to 4 days instead of 2 days or whatever. So that's where my estimations go wrong. And then you have to go back and tell the client, like, okay, we ran into issues. We're trying to fix it, trying to figure it out, trying to make sure it doesn't happen. It's just like more stable and more efficient or whatever. And you have to go back and tell the client, okay, our estimation was wrong. Here is why, and here's our adjusted estimation of when it's going to be done. So it happens more often than I'd like, but it's part of the learning experience. And usually the clients are pretty receptive to that because, I mean, you're kind of just like adjusting little tasks here and there, but we're still trying to meet the end deadline, which is like months out. So I guess the other thing that I've really been learning is just like how development cycles work and how we kind of work with clients, like reoccurring clients, and how we support them. From what my understanding is, we have clients who we're supporting from other projects in the past, and we have like development cycles with them. So we say, or even for like new clients, we say like, okay, in this upcoming cycle of development, these are the things that we are going to get done. Or the client says like, these are the things that we are looking to get done. And then we kind of go back, we look at that, and we're like, okay, this is doable. We can do this, and we can do this by this date. Or if the client has like a hard deadline that we need to meet, we say like, okay, we can get all this done in that time, or okay, we need to kind of reprioritize things because we can only get a portion of this done that you're looking to get done. So we need to make sure we get done the high priority things first, and then we can kind of finish up whatever else we can manage in the time. So that's been cool. We tend to use like project development or project management software, which is like a cards-based system. So the client communicates to us what they need done, and then those like to-do items are then transferred into this like software that the client can see and that we can see, so that we're all on the same page, and that communicates. It's like a board that has everything that needs to be done, and then we can mark when we start things, we can mark when we finish things. The client can mark when they checked it and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's been good. Just kind of like seeing a better idea of how like the development cycles work, how they go from the client communicating their needs to us for this certain development cycle, and how we communicate back, we can get this done, or we can't get this done, we have to adjust, or whatever. And then we just kind of work through and kind of chip away at this pile of stuff that needs to be done, and then we move on. So that's been cool. It's been a nice experience, and I can kind of see how that really kind of is very repeatable as you work with different clients. But it's a great like system of development or whatever, a great workflow. Yeah, so far so good. So with that being said, like I said, I'm halfway into the program, 10 weeks in. Actually, next week, the apprentices should be starting to discuss with the president if we will be offered jobs. So that's exciting and pretty nerve-wracking. But I'll definitely be updating you guys about that, about what happens, whether or not it works out for me, whether or not the offer is something that I want to accept. It might be something that's like lowballing. I don't expect that, but I mean, it could happen. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, guys, that's all I gotta say for this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for the patience on this video. Sorry for being late on it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.